When you see a Mexican, what do you see? The reason why I ask this is because currently there is a new wave of hatred or a renewed wave of hatred for the Mexican. We want to build walls. We want to throw people back to Mexico. We want to do all of this goofy shit. We want to waste time and energy on stuff that really, on a community that not only doesn't deserve this, they deserve a hell of a lot more than is even being considered. The problem with our country is we are full of delusional fucking idiots that have a sense of entitlement that has not been earned at all. It really doesn't fit. We believe that we are a shining beacon throughout the country, but we are built on lies. We're built on fucking deceit, and we're built on destruction of people for our for a small benefit, or rather a large benefit for a small population of people. The thing that I find the most insane that's going on in America right now is the awareness of the Native American plight. That, in my lifetime, I've been alive for 47 years, the awareness of what happened to the Indians, the people that were here, it's just now finally becoming a narrative that people are looking at going, man, that was really fucked up. And that happened at the beginning of the inception of this country. Those people were here. Now, in America, we're removing all of there's a move to remove the offensive monuments that depict, the oppression of people. And so they're taking down statues and they're taking down things that don't really fucking matter. It is insane. It is like having a house that is a fucking mess on the inside, but you're gonna paint the outside. Because taking down these monuments doesn't change anything. It doesn't change. It's almost like if you omitted it didn't happen, instead of admitting what really happened and what's really going on now. The hypocrisy in the understanding and the fake empathy that goes out to the native tribes that were fucked in the construction of this country is in direct opposition to the demonization of the Mexicans that don't belong in this country and should get the fuck out. And the problem with this is we have been trained like stupid fucking monkeys to do, think, feel, and act according to bullshit. And most Americans don't understand, and I'll probably get a lot of flack for this. And here's the thing. This is about educating people and trying to get people to see what the fuck we are so we can truly become a great nation. So I ask, when you look at a Mexican, what do you see? Do you see someone who needs to go back to Mexico, someone who truly doesn't belong in this country? If that's the way you see Mexicans, then it's really completely not totally your fault. But there's a reason why we have the feelings and we are compelled to follow this narrative whenever it is issued to us. It's because in war, the winner writes history. History is written by the victors. So when the settlers, whatever the fuck they were, got here, when Columbus crashed his boat and got here, the natives were here. The Indians were here. They were already here. They didn't discover shit. It's like somebody coming to your house and walking into your house going, holy shit, I found some unclaimed land. This was their land. This was their shit. And so when Columbus got here, he found Indians here and they colonized, which means they destroyed, murdered, and assimilated the ones that were left and made them be like them. Fuck your culture, assimilate into ours. That's what colonization means. So, in the writing of history, we learn these wonderful stories of these brave frontiersmen and women that got here and, fought these savage Indians that were brutal and, in all their ways. But were they really? Were they any more brutal than the people that were coming to take their land by any means necessary, with fake documents and shit the way that the land was acquired was criminal. It was criminal. At best, it was criminal. So that's the inception of America there. So the land was taken from the indigenous people. So I could refer back again, what is a Mexican? What is a Mexican? If we were educated properly, we would understand how Mexicans became Mexicans. Because Columbus crashed his boat here, and Cortez from Spain crashed his boat down in Mexico, in the Mexico region. So naturally, Columbus spoke English. That's why the Indians that were here learned English. The ones that were down, the Aztecs and all the Mexican tribes or the Indian tribes that were in what's now Mexico, they spoke their own language. They didn't speak Spanish until fucking Cortez came and took their shit and colonized them and taught the language. That's what it was. That was the birth of the Mexican. That's how that happened. That's how the Indian learned how to speak Spanish and became a Mexican. This exchange of terms for the goal of imperialization and the conquest of this country is definitive of the double talk that has borne all of the rage and all of the shit that we see today. You cannot fuck people over and sugarcoat it and it stay without karmic retribution somewhere down the line. And that was the foundation right there. Texas was won by running the last bit of Indians out. The Alamo is glorified, and the Alamo was glorified, but that was, for the Indians, the people who were from here, that symbolizes the last defeat of their country. Like, imagine if a foreign force were to invade America now and we're all here and they did exactly what the colonists did. How would we feel about that? How would we feel about that? So, when you see what you are looking at and break shit down into reality, and you look at it honestly, if you can honestly get your own bullshit out of the way, these people that they're trying to run out of this country historically, if you trace their origins, they have more of a right to fucking be in America than anybody who's trying to kick them out of here. It is the destruction of people and acting like it was a heroic deed. That is our fabric. I see the most inbred, backwards, just disgusting motherfuckers talking about superiority over another race, and I look at these motherfuckers and I say, how? Like, how can you possibly believe this ignorant shit? But it is because ignorant people have recited ignorant shit and believe lies, man. We have been tricked into hating one another. So the people that are benefiting from all of the destruction and the takeover, we are merely soldiers in their war. They benefit from us destroying one another. I didn't understand when I was a young man growing up in California. There was just a natural born tension between blacks and the Mexicans, and we lived in the same neighborhood, and I never understood why that was just a thing. It was just a natural inclination to be at war, and that war still rages on today, in the inner city where the Hispanics and the blacks are just brutally at war with one another. And it is, I never understood why, because the similarities in the oppression in the country seemed to be proportionate. I didn't understand how two groups of people that were basically suffering the same plight could be at each other's throats the way we were just naturally inclined to do. And then as I got older and started educating myself, I realized that was born back during the days of exterminating the Indians from America. The slaves were used to hunt the Indians and to exterminate them and run them out. And that right there created that animosity, because the Indian saw the black man for what it was. He saw the black man as being used as an animal, and for the black man to turn on the Indian, at the command of the person who was oppressing him, that is where I believe that the deep-seated animosity between black men and Hispanic men, where that was born. And most of us don't ever learn about that. Like, there is no Mexicans. Those are Indians. Those are descendants of Indians who were conquered by Cortez. And once you understand the lineage of those people, and you understand how we got to share this narrative about hating each other. They need us to hate each other. They need for us to turn against each other. They need for us to attack one another so they can destroy humanity. No matter what color a person is, man, human beings are human beings. And to objectify a person for your own benefit is fucking sinful. It's wrong to believe that any of us are better than anybody on this planet. It doesn't matter religion or color or any of that stuff. If you really believe that you are beneath or above anyone, it's because you're believing fucking lies, man. That is a fundamental problem with this country and this world, is we're detached from one another. We're all detached. We allow divisions, and we allow false education to teach us lies that we propagate. And look at what we've gotten. We've gotten everybody hating everybody. We've got groups and causes and all of this stuff. We've got to pump our fucking brakes, man, and open up our eyes and educate ourselves. Educate yourself to something. Read something that's not published by some bullshit, man. Read something that expands your mind. Read something that teaches you something that you weren't taught in school. Become a better person and treat people better. There's plenty to go around for everyone in this world. There's plenty of everything. But as long as they can keep us fighting for scraps and hating one another, we will continue to destroy everything that matters in this world. And that's our humanity. Like, if you can honestly look at things that are happening across the planet and feel detached from it, that's really fucking sad, man. Because if something were ever happen in America, would you still be as prejudiced as you are now toward the shit that you are? Would you want the Mexicans to be gone if those were the last people that were left to help you? Does your prejudice, does your racism run that deep? Is it that genuine, or are you just retarded by the system that you've been taught by? I'm not trying to do anything but cause anyone watching this video to question the way they think and why they believe what they believe. If you, if you can look at, the truth about where we come from, only a fucking idiot can continue with the narrative that's being spewed by all the rest of the idiots. This was the Indians' land. Mexicans are Indians, man. They're just Indians who speak Spanish. Is it really fair for them to get the fuck out of this country? Do they really not belong here? Anyone who can really say that should trace their origin. How the fuck did you get here? And how did the people feel who were here when your people got here? Be human. Be human.